Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Hi friends, today we'll be discussing on the punching shear. Okay, here we are taking a topic punching shear so that you can understand what exactly the punching shear is, how it will act, and what are the effects of this punching shear on the structure. Okay, here in the first case, okay, generally we call the punching shear as the two-way shear also. Okay, here you can see in the figure, suppose if this is a footing of a building, whenever you apply a force of P, okay, it will be acting on the footing, okay, and it will be whatever the SBC or the footing which is resting on the subsoil will able to resist the force coming on that. Whereas another parameter will come into picture, that is a single shear, that means shear at some line at surface. Okay, whereas apart from that we will be getting another shear point, that is two-way shear. Here you can see in the figure, okay, you can see the two-way shear. Here what I will do, I'll be showing where exactly the force will acting. So suppose this is the part of column, that is cross section of column. Okay, it will be acting at a distance of d by 2. Okay, here you can see in the figure, okay, this is the column, okay, and the effect of this punching shear will be acting at a distance of d by 2 from either side. Okay, so we'll have another case, that is the flat slab. Okay, if the force is acting on the slab and the slab is resting on the column, okay, the flat slab may fail under the punching shear. Here you can see the failure pattern of punching shear. Okay, so the surface stresses will occur at a distance of d by 2 from the acting force, that is d by 2 from the column. Okay, here in the last case, in earlier, okay, this is the footing. Okay, whereas here whenever the force is applied, okay, the footing may fail under shear, whereas here in the flat slab the force is acting on the slab and the effect will be on the junction of column. Okay, in both the conditions will be having the same effects, okay, but there may be a opposite direction, the force may be in the opposite direction. So we'll understand what exactly the punching shear is there. Okay, now what exactly the punching shear, how it will act, and what are the effects. Okay, first I'll take an example. Suppose if a column of size 300 mm by 300 mm is there, which is resting on a footing of size footing of size 1500 mm by 1500 and its depth is 300 mm. Okay, here whenever the force is applied, that is mainly I'll be taking 1000 kilonewton is acting here. Okay, and it may able to resist whatever the force is there, whatever the footing is casted or constructed, it will be able to resist the force acting on the footing. Okay, whereas it may susceptible to fail at a punching shear point. Okay, here we'll understand what exactly the punching shear. Okay, so first I'll be drawing the column and footing junction. This is a column and footing junction. As we have discussed, the size of column is 300 mm and size of footing is 1500 mm and depth of footing is 300 mm. Okay, so whenever the force will act, the punching shear will be acting, or the failure pattern will occur at a distance of d by 2. D is nothing but this one, depth of the foundation. Okay, it will be acting at a distance of d by 2. Okay, suppose you may write it as capital D also for overall depth. Okay, d by 2, d by 2. Okay, so I'll be drawing the plan of this one. suppose this is the footing size and this is the size of column. The punching shear will act at a distance of d by 2 from the surface of the column in either direction. Okay, so it is, okay, if I take d by 2, this direction also it is d by 2 and d by 2. Okay, now I'll be finding the punching stress or the two-way shear stress. Okay, so whenever you are going to calculate the shear stresses, you must know this length. Okay, as I said, the column size is of the footing size is of 1500 mm. This is 1500, column is of 300 and 300. Now I'll be finding the length of this part. Okay, it is equal to how much? 300 plus 300 by 2 plus 300 by 2. Here total this length, this is 300, this one is 300 by 2, 300 by 2. It will be around 600 mm. Okay, and the force which is acting on the surface which comes under the punching shear is how much? Whenever the shear force acts, okay, it will be acting along this line, that is equal to 600, 600, 600 and 600. Total how many 600s are there? It is equal to 4 into 600, that is 2400 mm. Okay, on this length the force will act. Okay, not only the length, okay, at a distance of d by 2 also. Okay, whenever you calculate the stress, all we need is force divided by area. Okay, force acting is how much? P is equal to 1000 kilonewton, which is acting on the column. Okay, this is already taken in the example. Okay, if it is 1000 kilonewton and which is acting on the surface, that means surface is of length how much? So I'll be showing the 3D of footing, 3D diagram of footing. This is the size of footing. Okay, 1500, 1500 and it is of 300 mm. Okay, now the punching shear is acting at a distance d by 2 from the surface. That means whenever the punching shear occurs, the failure occurs. Here you can see, okay, in the figure you can see it will be acting at a distance of d by 2. Okay, here we have drawn this one. Okay, this is the punching shear failure will act here over the surface area. Okay, here you can see the length is of how much? 600, 600, 600 and 600. Already we have calculated. Okay, whereas this force is acting for this length and the depth how much? It is of 300 mm. Okay, I'll hatch the portion. So at this portion on the surface the force will act. Okay, that means you need to find out the shear stress. Okay, here I'll be writing the shear stress here itself. So here what happens? Total length is equal to how much? Length is equal to 4 into 600, that is equal to 2400 mm, and the force is acting over area. Area means length into the depth. How much it is? 300 mm. It's 2400. Okay, total area under punching shear is equal to cross sectional area. That means total length and its depth. Depth is equal to depth of the footing. Okay, so it's like when you cut a cake exactly at the center and you remove the face, whatever the surface of the cake is there, that will becomes under the punching shear. Okay, here the area under punching shear is equal to 2400 into depth 300 mm. Okay, this will be the area under punching shear. Okay, we'll calculate this. Okay, when you calculate area under punching shear, it will be equal to 720 into 10 to the power of 3 mm square. Okay, whereas I need to find out the punching shear stress, that is nothing but, okay, I can write the shear stress. Okay, I'll be writing it in the form of toe P means the punching shear, or here you can calculate load by area. Okay, it will be load is equal to how much? Ultimate load 1000 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by 720 into 10 to the power of 3. Okay, so this one is equal to how much? Cancel each other. 1000 divided by 720, it will be around 1.38 Newton per mm square. Okay, this is the shear stress. Suppose shear stress acting on the cross section. Suppose the capacity of this portion, that is nothing but capacity means whatever the concrete you have provided, that is depth of foundation, as well as the reinforcement you have provided. Okay, these should be able to resist the punching shear. Okay, so if the capacity of those values, that means the capacity of concrete as well as reinforcement and its shear capacity is less than 1.38, in this case, okay, so the structure or footing or a flat slab will fail under punching shear. Okay, always whatever the punching shear will get here, okay, and the capacity, for example, if I am getting a capacity of tau c, that is shear stress of the concrete, the punching under punching shear is 1.5 Newton per mm square, and the tau p is, that is shear stress acting, is 1.38 Newton per mm square. In this case, okay, I can say it is safe because there is no tau c is greater than tau p, so no need to necessary. Suppose if tau c is equal to 1.2 and tau p is equal to 1.38, that is the stress acting is higher than the capacity of the member. In that case, need to redesign the section, so that always you need to get tau c greater than this punching shear. Then only you can say this as a safe as well as safe structure under the punching shear stresses. Okay, one thing you should keep it in mind, always whenever you design a footing, only the area of the footing, depth of the footing is not only sufficient, and the one-way shear is, check for one-way shear is not only sufficient. Okay, you need to go for the two-way shear or a punching shear check to be done. Okay, so directly you might have, okay, if many designers or the people who are practice or who are learning, okay, may commit a mistake. Only the footing size is fixed and depth is fixed based on load by SBC calculations as well as the moment calculations using moment, limiting moment and M moment, the ultimate moment. Okay, you are not able to judge the depth of footing. Okay, only this much is not sufficient. Easily you can find out based on the SBC, you can find out the size, and based on the limiting moment you can easily find out size and depth of the footing. But whenever you provide the depth of the footing and size, you need to check under the punching shear. Okay, I think you understood this concept of punching shear. Okay, if you really like the video, subscribe my channel and press bell icon for upcoming notifications. Thank you.